Information is power.
Tell the truth.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV. You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth. truth.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Information Man Show. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming over and watching this video. I want to say something to everybody right now. This video is probably the most important video that I could do this year. There's so many other videos that I want to do, but this has got to be maybe the most important, if not the most important video. All of YouTube, Black YouTube in particular, need to listen to everything that I'm about to say today, and also need to do your own research into this issue. Now, maybe a year ago and a half, I've been on a few panels in the past where I had talked about this. I didn't have all the details at the time, but I knew that it was coming down the pipeline. And there is something called Section 230. And what Section 230 does is it's sort of a protection for the platforms, for these social media platforms. So you got Facebook, you got Twitch, you got TikTok. Of course, TikTok has been king so far. You've got YouTube, you've got all different types of social media where we're able to crack open a video page, a TikTok page, and we're able to express ourselves however we see fit about politics, social issues, family issues, relationship issues. We're able to follow the news and give our perspective that the news don't normally give in terms of our perspective. We have people who talk about science. We have brothers like Brother Sanchez, who's going live right now, where he may be talking about that situation in Ohio with the train and the smoke. Or he might be talking about flat earth. He may be talking about, what do you call it? Astrophysics, whatever. We may be talking about different subject matters that we don't always get in mainstream media. And the Section 230 gives us the free reign to express ourselves because, for example, YouTube is essentially protected under title or under Section 230 under the law. So therefore, when someone gets on these platforms and they jump way out of the window, ladies and gentlemen, and they say something that's hateful, like hate speech, they're saying things that's misinformation, they're pushing out hate stuff. Like, for example, you have the situation with ISIS, the terrorist group, where there were ISIS material on YouTube. And the content creators that uploaded it, they didn't get any penalty. They got the penalty by getting taken off. So YouTube will take the content off the channel. They may get rid of you, but YouTube doesn't have to worry about any lawsuits against YouTube. Someone can take out a lawsuit against you as the individual content creator. Someone can say, hey, under your rules of standards and operation, this person has to be deleted at the IP level where they can no longer come back on these platforms. That's not just YouTube, but that's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's all of it. And so the platforms themselves normally don't get sued because they've been protected under Section 230. And I'm going to give you some more details about this Section 230. Now, you say, well, how did this whole thing happen? Ladies and gentlemen, it happened because there was a lawsuit. I think it's Gonzalez versus Google, ladies and gentlemen. Google is the company that owns YouTube, which is why you have the AdSense. This is why YouTube has become more corporate in nature. They're penalizing everything that we do. The algorithms will penalize you if you play music that's copyrighted. If you say things that they feel is inflammatory, you got to watch what you say. There's got buzzwords on YouTube. Certain words will hurt your channel. Well, without Section 230, we're all in trouble. So that means they're going to have 4 cases. They're already looking at 2 or 3 of these cases right now. If the Supreme Court doesn't rule in favor of all 4 cases, and I'm not making this up, ladies and gentlemen, those of you out there that are content creators, you better listen to this video that I'm playing today for you. And if you are a person who's not a content creator, but you enjoy watching your favorite content creators, whether it be a Jason Black, a Search for Uhuru, whatever genre it is, the Manosphere, this is for everybody. Manosphere, people that are into gaming, people who are into the war of the sexist type talk, those of us who get up on YouTube and we go back and forth with each other and we dox each other, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, because if this Section 230 fails in all 4 levels, all of you guys that are live right now on YouTube, giving your opinion, giving your independent thought, getting into conspiracy theory talk and window talk, YouTube will have no choice but to arbitrarily moderate your channel and say, oh, you can't upload this, you can't upload that, boom, 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 boom. If you think it's bad now with their censorship, it'll be 10 times worse. Why? Because YouTube doesn't want to get sued, because you get an idiot on these platforms who puts out content that they can be now held liable for. Not only just you as the content creator, but now these families can go after YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all these different social media platforms and get into their deep pockets and say, we're going to sue you for billions of dollars for libel. Now YouTube has no choice but to say, do we want to exist, or do we create more censorship? Which means this is what's going to happen. People who have larger channels, who have a bigger voice, they're going to be heard. And people who have smaller voices, smaller channels, you ain't going to be heard. You won't even be able to build your channel up because YouTube algorithms won't kick out your content. So the way the YouTube algorithms work right now, that when you have a particular subject matter that's a hot trending subject, and you put that in your title, you put the proper tags, a proper thumbnail, all that, YouTube algorithms is going to read that and send that to people who want to look at that video. And if it's a lot of people, it's going to send to a lot of people. And the more views you get, the more clicks you get on that video, the more that video is sent through the YouTube algorithm. The algorithms is the audience. Not just a machine. It's you, the audience, what you want to see. Well, if I put a piece of content up here and YouTube says, no, we're not going to promote that video. It's almost like we often talk about shadow banning, being shadow banned on YouTube. It's an automatic shadow ban, meaning they're going to make sure that that content not only gets to the people that want to watch it, they're going to make sure it gets to nobody. They're going to make sure it doesn't get to 1 billion or 1,000 people. They're not going to let that content get anywhere because, first of all, you may not even be able to upload it or go live with that content once the algorithms read your title and they say, no, we're going to stop this. This is what's coming down the pipeline if Section 230 is not upheld by the Supreme Court. Now, we're talking about the Supreme Court of the United States. Everybody in the chat room, I give you all a clap that's here. I want to shout people out, but I got to stay on top of this topic because this is very, 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 very important, ladies and gentlemen. So look at this here. You got the Supreme Court of these United States of America. So let me go into here. And let me go right back over here like this. So you got the Supreme Court of these United States of America right here. There is Clarence Thomas. Now, why did I put Clarence Thomas front and center? You may say, well, why you want to blame it on the black man or the raccoon man? Because Clarence Thomas has the largest standing on this court. He's the veteran of this court. He's the head, you know what, in charge, the head ninja in charge of this Supreme Court. That's why he's front and center. But not only that, this is what Clarence Thomas said as it relates to the Section 230. I talked about Section 230 before a year or two ago. Nobody listened on these platforms. That's the problem with people on YouTube. They run their mouth, they do no research, and they don't listen when you give them warning. A lot of us in Black YouTube who like to get into the doxing, the back and forth, nonsense and content that's ratchet, you're in a lot of trouble if the Section 230 isn't upheld. Check this out right here. This is Clarence Thomas. This is his position right here. Justice Clarence Thomas has been alluding in previous dissents on other court cases that it's time for the Supreme Court to decide whether Section 230 provides tech companies overly broad liability protection. The content creation that we do on YouTube is protected because YouTube is protected, Facebook is protected, Twitch is protected. So because they're protected, it allows us to be able to have a long reach to be able to say what's on our mind. The Supreme Court of this land, the Supreme Court is about to hear a case that could upend protections big tech has enjoyed for years. It's about 25 years that they've enjoyed this, and the internet may never be the same. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just the social media platforms that's in trouble. It's the internet altogether. Let me put this up here for you. Everybody, please listen, share this video. This is probably one of my most important videos of to date. Thank you for being here. It's about truth.
Tell the truth.
The Supreme Court hears two cases that could ruin the internet. Internet for all of you, whether you're a content creator or not, it doesn't matter. If you like using the internet, you like watching certain content creators on YouTube. I bring up Jason Black because Jason Black gets into social political issues. I like Jason Black's channel, but Jason Black's channel really gets into the deep root issues, and his channel, which has already been shadow banned, would be even more shadow banned because before he could even start his video, the YouTube algorithms would say, nope, there ain't going to be no Jason Black. We can't afford, because if somebody wants to say, hey, I'm going to hold Jason Black or any of us liable for something, they can now go after YouTube, Facebook, all these social media platforms and hold you accountable. This is how this whole thing started. In 2015, individuals affiliated with the terrorist group ISIS conducted a wave of violence and mass murder in Paris, killing 129 people. One of them was Gonzalez, a 23-year-old American student who died after ISIS assassination opened fire on the cafeteria where she and her friends were eating dinner. That was put on YouTube. And YouTube didn't get sued for it. The family is in court right now over this. I believe on Friday, which was this past Friday, they met, the Supreme Court met to decide how they want to handle this case. The family is now saying that YouTube should be held accountable and should be sued because they allowed the publisher on YouTube, meaning a content creator, which under Section 230, YouTube and other social media platforms are not held responsible for what a publisher, which would be you, the content creator, puts on the platform. Now, you will be held accountable in terms of them taking you off the platform, but they're no longer going to deal with the nonsense. Now, this is what happened right here. In response to these horrific acts, Gonzalez and his family, their family, brought a federal lawsuit pinning the blame for these attacks on some very unlikely defendants. Gonzalez versus Google, and you know Google owns YouTube. Gonzalez survivors claim that the tech giant Google should compensate them for the loss of their loved ones. This is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. This is the truth.
Tell the truth.
I'm not going to play around with you all and not tell you the truth, but this is the truth. What I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead and show you a video that's going to give it. This guy has a YouTube channel, white guy. He's a lawyer, and he breaks it down really well. And I want you to hear. This is a short little video, and let me pull him up right now because I want you to hear it from a lawyer's mouth and also let you see some news clips on this so that you know that I'm not making any of this stuff up. This didn't just come out of a banana truck or anything like that. This is truth. And here it is getting ready to come up for you right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Fleming Gonzalez was a design major at California State University, Long Beach, who was spending a semester studying in Paris.
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
2015, he was dining with friends at a cafe on Champs-Élysées when an ISIS terrorist with a gun opened fire. Gonzalez was killed along with 130 other people in coordinated attacks at 6 locations across the city. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attacks, and eventually 20 men were convicted of crimes related to the massacre. The lone surviving gunman was sentenced to life without parole. So, was justice served? Well, the Gonzalez family contends that it was not, because there was another perpetrator still at large: YouTube. The family sued Google, which owns YouTube, alleging that YouTube's algorithms amplify violent videos and hateful content, despite the company's efforts to ban violent accounts and limit their reach. The Gonzalez family says that YouTube's recommendations expose people to hateful content, radicalize viewers, and encourage them to make terrorist attacks of their own. Google argued that because ISIS, not YouTube, made and uploaded those videos, YouTube was not the provider or developer of those videos, and therefore it was immune from liability under 47 U.S.C. Section 230, otherwise known as Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. Section 230 of the CDA immunizes internet services for the content that its users upload, and often allows websites to remove content without taking on liability. But the Gonzalez plaintiffs contend that YouTube's recommendations should not be covered by Section 230 because the company is acting like a content creator rather than a publisher. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals held that the Gonzalez claims fell within Section 230 and Google was immune from suit. The Gonzalez parties appealed, and the Supreme Court to answer the question of whether Section 230 immunizes an interactive computer service from liability for recommending other party content. Now, in support of the claims, plaintiffs allege that, quote, 2 of the 12 ISIS terrorists who carried out the attacks used online social media platforms to post links to ISIS recruitment YouTube videos and, quote, jihadi YouTube videos. One of the men who fired at Gonzalez had appeared in an ISIS recruitment in 2014. Argued that the defendants the anti-FDA, allowing ISIS to post videos on YouTube under Section 2333 of the ATA, as amended by the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act. Americans were injured by, quote, an act of international terrorism that is committed, planned, or authorized by a terrorist organization, may sue any person who, quote, aids and abets by knowingly providing substantial assistance, or who conspires with a person who committed such an act of international terrorism, and recover treble damages. So the legal question in the lower courts was whether a social media platform that was not used to commit a specific, quote, act of international terrorism may still be liable for aiding and abetting under Section 33. The plaintiffs say that the answer is yes, that Google aided and abetted an act of international terrorism, conspired with the perpetrator of an act of international terrorism, and provided material support to ISIS by allowing ISIS to use YouTube. And of course, the defendants say no, the plaintiffs' claims are barred by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which often immunizes interactive computer services, aka websites, even when they make targeted recommendations. The trial court and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals sided with Google, ruling that the claims fell within Section 230, Section C, because ISIS, not YouTube, created or developed the relevant content. The
All right, I want to take that off. Sorry about some of the freezing there. That is definitely something that we have to be concerned about. So because of that situation, if YouTube loses these cases, it's not just YouTube, it's Facebook, it's all the other platforms, we're going to find ourselves in a lot of problems. This is a serious situation that we need to be aware of that's happening, because it will affect how you and I get our content, what type of content we're able to look at, and what type of content creators will be presented to us, and how the content creators that we like, who are the most, I would say, controversial, who are the most going to tell you like it is, how they can be sort of removed from the platform and marginalized from the platform. This is very important for these reasons, and these are the reasons why. I've been saying this for a while since I've been on YouTube. If you notice, everybody, a lot of the news organizations and a lot of the TV programs are now shifting themselves over to YouTube, because the majority of people are watching YouTube and TikTok. They're not watching mainstream media anymore. I think CNN at one point in time in their nighttime news with Don Lemon, they were struggling to get 1 million people watching. So what's happening is all these big corporations are moving their platforms into the digital area of YouTube and things of that nature. If this happens and the Section 230 is thrown down, it's thrown out by these old fogies in the Supreme Court, people who probably don't even know how to use a computer themselves, people who do not understand how the internet and social media is important to this generation, where they're going to leave it up to these old 80-year-old, 70-year-old, dusty, crusty, and musty individuals up there in that Supreme Court.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling you the truth. They get their hands on this. Can we expect them to understand? We're talking about the Supreme Court of the United States of America. The Supreme Court, which is now I got to be honest here. The conservatives, the Republicans don't really want this to happen. The Democrats as well, but it's going to be in the hands of a very conservative Supreme Court. But the job of the Supreme Court is to interpret law, not to make law, right?
Tell the truth.
But we know that's a damn lie, because they told me and you just a few years ago that corporations are people, right? That's laughable. So we got this dusty, musty, and crusty Supreme Court. Individuals who probably don't use social media, don't understand social media, probably don't even know how to use their computer. Hell, they probably don't even know how to use their smartphones. They're going to make a decision for those of us, younger generation, who understand social media, understand the power of social media, and we're going to leave it up to them. Now, I feel bad that the Gonzalez family lost their family member. That should have never happened. But the money that they're going for their losses, money is going to have a backlash on those of us who depend on social media in terms of people who operate in social media spaces such as I do and what have you. And then I'm going to tell you right now, folks, this is why you don't quit your day job. This is why you always maintain other economic opportunities for people on this platform who depend on this platform for their bread and their butter. I'm sorry, you miscalculated. You better have a plan B, C, D, and E. Because if your content falls in line under YouTube's and any other platforms, new policies that will be created, if Section 230 is not upheld, you may find yourself not being able to make a living on YouTube in particular, or any social media, if you have what we would call very controversial content that YouTube would say, we just can't afford a lawsuit, so we're going to have to marginalize, underestimate, and undervalue your content. It's just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't make this stuff up. I didn't want this to happen, but I've been warning, I've been telling people, YouTube is a content platform, a video content platform. They're in the business of making money, not losing money. So if that Section 230 does not get upheld, there's going to be 4 cases. Some people are going to be very upset on this platform. Some people are going to be looking outside in the dark on this platform very soon. As I said before, the thrust of both lawsuits is that websites like Twitter, Facebook, or Google-owned YouTube are legally responsible for the 2 ISIS killings because ISIS was able to post recruitment videos and other content on their website. That's a damn shame. That were not immediately taken down. Remember that brother a couple of years ago, what was it, last year? Remember that cat that was on YouTube? He was in New York and he did that shooting in the New York subway. And come to find out, he was on YouTube for years espousing all types of rhetoric. And YouTube didn't take his channel down until after it came out that he was the one who went out there and deleted people in New York. And look what happened. Technically, if Section 230 was not upheld, the families that lost their family members could have sued YouTube for allowing that guy to be on YouTube for years, espousing his ideology. And then he goes into that New York subway. Remember that black guy, big fat black guy, out of shape black guy, was on YouTube. People associated him with the manosphere, and he was espousing all type of nonsense. Without Section 230, YouTube would have been sued by all the family members that lost family in that subway incident in New York that got deleted. And then that would cause YouTube to change their policies on all of us. We would all be held accountable. Let me read this to you. Upending Section 230 would harm free expression, as I've been saying. It would harm free expression. Section 230 supports free expression online, enabling websites to offer a wide range of information, allowing diversity of voices to be discovered and heard. You take away Section, man, I'm telling y'all, if the Supreme Court takes away, woo, man, I'm telling you, if the Supreme Court takes away Section 230, you will not have a diversity of voices. You will not have different information that you can choose from on the platform. You wouldn't probably hear someone like me. I'm pretty sure some of the content that I've uploaded and I've gone live with over the years, YouTube would put a stop and say, eh. They would hit a loud alarm and say, information man, you can't upload that today. Information man, you can't go live with that information today. Why? Because we don't have Section 230 anymore.
Tell the truth.
The Supreme Court run affiliated with a bunch of old folks that we're gonna have to pray on our knees that they don't screw this up. And they got 4 cases. We would have to win all 4 cases. Section 230 supports free expression, but without that, you would not have you would not be able to discover or hear different people. What does it mean by discovery? What does that mean by discovery? I'm going to repeat this again. Discovery is everything. That's how people find you. That's how your channel grows. That's how people hear your opinion, your thoughts, and they say, hey, I like that channel. Let me subscribe. Well, if YouTube doesn't push out your content, you won't be discovered. Therefore, you won't get subscribers. YouTube, other than any other social media platform, has an algorithm that's designed to kick your content out there to find people who would most be interested in your content to subscribe to your channel. With Section 230 being ripped away, that will no longer be the case. You'll just be a lady, a guy, a man, a woman on an island to yourself, talking and giving content that nobody will find, because YouTube will automatically shadow ban that content and make sure it does not reach a larger variety of audience.
Tell the truth.
Shame the devil. Narratives. What's going on? Narratives and dialogue. What's up? What's going on, Jay Shine? I see you in there. Jay Shine's in the house. Do you understand if you understand what I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, hit a 7 in the chat room. This is very important. I should have 1,000 people over here watching, because there's people on YouTube right now doing their thing on YouTube, doing whatever type of content that they do, whether you like their content or not, and they probably don't even know that this is coming right down the pipeline, and it's going to marginalize their channel. I'm definitely doing as good as I can. We got Jill's Chocolate Boutique in the house. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. We got Just Alicia in the house putting a 7. I appreciate that. We got the Faith Factor in the house. Let's see what the Faith Factor is talking about here. She put a 7, which I really appreciate that. Let me put up here. We got Brian Hub, who says the second they took over trending, they pretty much already started this trend of what you're talking about. Yes, but the only thing that protects us is the Section 230. And it's not just YouTube. It's all social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. They're all governed under that. This is something that I think when the Democrats were in office, this is something that I think Joe Biden removed something that Donald Trump, your boy Donald Trump, for all of you folks out there that love Donald Trump was angry because when he was on TikTok or when he was on Twitter, they censored him. So you know what he wanted to do when he got in office? So it was Trump who was one of the ones who tried to do an amendment to open up the door to this Section 230 being shut down, because why? He was mad that they took him off the platform. So in his mind, he said, I want to see Twitter go down. I want to see Twitter be in a vulnerable situation to be sued by somebody. So your selfish president, your selfish orange president, your selfish President Trump that you all touted on social media is partly responsible for opening up the door to this as well. And when Biden came in, he had to shut the door on what your man, red man, or your orange man, Donald Trump did. This is for all of you Donald Trump lovers out there, black, white, and otherwise. So you got him to thank for it. The man you call making America great again. Let's go back in for some more. Let's go back in here and look at some more sliders, shall we? This is important, everybody. This is very important. Here's the next one. Section 230. Section 230 is the economic backbone of the internet. Undercutting Section 230 would lead to businesses and websites being unable to operate. That's like for those of us on YouTube be one of them. Facebook could be another one of them. To operate into more lawsuits that would hurt the publisher, creators, and the small business. Who are the publishers and creators? That's me and you if you are a content creator. And those of you who enjoy just watching YouTube videos, it's going to hurt you because you're going to get less content that you really covet and want. That's what's going on here. Here's the next slider for you. Here we go right here. Whether social media generates radicalism is a is an empirical question, regardless of if there is a little reason to expect that removing Section 230 would improve the matter. Recall the moderator dilemma. Before Section 230, a platform could limit its liability either by doing virtually no content moderation, meaning they didn't moderate our content, or by doing lots of it. They're going to do lots of it now if they lose this. Removing Section 230 and the dilemma returns. The dilemma. So you get rid of Section 230. If you think that YouTube and Facebook and all these other platforms are censoring you now, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Again, it seems likely that the Supreme Court will need to address the issues, perhaps in its terms that start in October. Federal appeals courts have issued conflicting rulings. The United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit struck down much of Florida's law, while the United States Courts of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit upheld Texas laws. So this is happening in Texas. There's 4 cases. There's two of them being looked at, and they got to look at the other 2 cases. If all 4 cases don't win out, we're in a lot of trouble. It's going to change the way we use the internet, not just social media, but the internet in general. Here's another slider for you. On Friday, this past Friday, the Supreme Court is expected to discuss whether to hear 2 cases that challenge the law in Texas and Florida, banning online platforms from taking down certain political content. Next month, the court is scheduled to hear a case that questions Section 230. Section 230 was created in 1996 as a statute that protects the platforms from liability for the content posted by their users. That's me and you.
Tell the truth.
Again, a day later, the court plans to consider a second case. What is the second case? Twitter versus Tammany. I can't pronounce that. There's another case where someone is suing Twitter. If the deal with the related question about when a platforms are legally responsible for supporting under the federal law. So you got Twitter under fire, YouTube under fire, Facebook's under fire. They've been under fire for a while, but this is coming down. Now, as a reminder again about this law called the Section 230. Section 230, ladies and gentlemen, is a section of Title 47 of the United States Code that was enacted as part of the Communication Decree Act of 1996, which is title versus of the Telecommunications Act of 1996, a general providing immunity for websites, platforms with respect to third-party content.
Tell the truth.
This situation is going to change, and old Uncle Ben's Rice, the raccoon man himself, who never says anything on that Supreme Court, has already put out, I'm going to remind people of this situation right here. Clarence Thomas has been alluding in previous dissents on other court cases that it's time for the Supreme Court to decide whether Section 230 provides tech companies overly broad liability protection.
Tell the truth.
So he's one of the ones leading this crusade on that Supreme old rusty court. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a serious situation. If you have any respect for Information Man, any respect for my content, if you have respect for your favorite content creators out there that you enjoy watching, I don't care if you enjoy other content creators more than you enjoy me. You need to send this video throughout all your social media. You need to send it to the content creators that you enjoy watching. If you are a content creator yourself, put it in your community tab. If you know other content creators, you need to send this video to them and make them aware of these changes coming down the pipeline. Because we're all going to be affected. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. This is the Information Man Show. Like and comment, subscribe. I want you to thank you for watching, but most of all, I want you to think about what I've just said today, because this content is very, very important. This Supreme Court we're in a lot of trouble. It doesn't look good from all accounts that I've heard, ladies and gentlemen. It does not look good. Do I gotta get closer to the screen? It does not look good, ladies and gentlemen. It does not look good. I'm telling you, it's a serious matter. I'm concerned about it because one of the things that I enjoy about the internet is that it has allowed an opportunity for people to express themselves. We often grew up watching watching mainstream media, where we listen to people on mainstream media who do not talk about issues that we're concerned about, or if they do talk about issues that we're concerned about, they do not talk about them in a way that relates to our people, relates to us culturally, socially, or spiritually. And if this Section 230 does not get upheld, and there's 4 cases that they're looking at, it's going to not only chip away, but destroy how the internet operates and how YouTube deals with us in our content, and how we get marginalized, our channels get swished down. And then what happens, I think this is all planned, by the way, what happens is it will allow the mainstream YouTube channels to take over YouTube, because you know that YouTube is not going to suppress the mainstream channels. We already see it right now, where you got these mainstream channels on YouTube that get a lot of views. YouTube pushes them through the algorithms. YouTube will be dominated by mainstream content and will marginalize independent media like myself and many of you on the platform. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
You see, we got to be concerned about this. This damn Supreme Court is a problem for us, because the people that's on it, they are not with the time. This Supreme Court, excuse me, I'm still getting over a cold, so you'll have to excuse my voice and my congestion in my voice. We have a Supreme Court that is not with the people, doesn't represent the people, isn't with us as a people. I don't trust them as far as I can buy $3 fries. You shouldn't trust them. But damn it, we're in a lot of trouble, because we're pretty much at their becking. We're at their beck and call. We're pretty much hoping that these old fogies might just get it right. Now, the Republicans, the conservatives, don't want this to happen. And maybe these conservative Supreme Court justices that dominate this court will see it the same way. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I just don't know. I just know that we're in a lot of trouble with this Supreme Court, because I just don't think Justice Thomas is already saying that we need to look at changing a few things. So that's why I'm concerned, because there's 4 cases. We need the Section 230 to withstand 2 cases against them. And these are legitimate cases against them. And I've been saying this, that once people can sue the platforms themselves, YouTube is done. The internet is done. Social media is done. Stick a fork in it. As we know it today, it will no longer be the same. And some of you, depending on the content that you do on YouTube, you may no longer be on YouTube, not by your own choice, but by the fact that YouTube will marginalize you off the platform. They'll do whatever they can. They are a corporation. They don't care about us. They don't care about your super chat, especially if you're not making them $1 million and you don't have $1 million channel with thousands and millions of subscribers. They don't care. You're going to be gone. I'm pointing to Black YouTube, because on Black YouTube, we got a lot of crazy things going on. And I see a lot of channels being margined right off the platform. If you don't start, I'm telling you right now, some of the channels that are going to be in the most trouble are better. Y'all better think about. You better think about what other type of content you can do, what other talents you have besides that, because if you don't, you're in a lot of trouble. That's if Section 230 doesn't get upheld, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very serious about this. I think it's a very serious situation that we need to be concerned about, ladies and gentlemen, about this situation. Let me show you another video, because you need to see this video as well. This is another one. Hopefully I won't have any technical problems with sound, but let's get the next video up, which will be a refresher from the first video that I showed you. And hopefully you'll get this video as well. Here we go.
The Supreme Court's new term, the justices are already making headlines, deciding to take up a challenge of the world's biggest tech giants.
There was an inevitability that the Supreme Court sooner or later would have to confront the scope of the immunity that Congress has granted to social media platforms.
The case could open companies like Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter up to lawsuits for what they allow users to post. Right now, they're protected by part of the 1996 law known as Section 230, which shields tech companies from being legally responsible for content published on their sites. That means no company is required to act on disturbing content.
Any way you look at it, I think this has enormous ramifications for the landscape of social media in our country, which has gone very heavily debated but relatively unregulated for decades.
There are two suits. The first, from a 2015 terror attack in Paris, says Google recommended ISIS videos on YouTube to users, in turn to help with recruitment numbers. ISIS carried out the attack that killed 130 people. The other criticizes Twitter for not taking down content relating to another terror attack in Turkey.
In one case, it's that Google exercised judgment, but the family said it's not entitled to of the fashion. It's accused of not doing enough to wipe out the terrorist materials, and therefore shouldn't be under the protection of the federal statute.
The law became even more political in 2020. Twitter began flagging then President Donald Trump's tweets, which led him to call for a repeal of Section 230 and Twitter to limit actions. Trump lamented the law in the days after the election, and even on January 6th, that's on the list. President Joe Biden repealed the order when it but did raise questions about the law itself, taking issue with misinformation on these platforms. The CEOs leading these say repealing the law could hurt consumers.
Section 230 is the most important law protecting internet speech, and removing Section 230 will remove speech.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just say here, part of the problem, as I think the guy on that video that used to own Twitter saying that it's going to hurt free speech on the platforms. And you saw Donald Trump on there. He's the one that repealed Section 230 because he didn't like the fact that Twitter had got rid of him because of all the inflammatory tweets that he was putting on Twitter. So because he didn't like it, he wanted to get rid of Section 230 for his own personal reasons to see Twitter go down in the dumps. So you're Donald Trump, all you folks out there that was speaking that Donald Trump nonsense, he's also partly responsible. So if this Section 230 doesn't get upheld in the Supreme Court and it gets shot down, you also have Donald Trump to also thank for this, because when he was in office, he set forth the stage of repealing it. Very dangerous for his own selfish reasons. He don't give a damn about y'all. He only cares about himself. So for his own personal reasons, selfish reasons, we're in a position where Section 230 has taken another hit, and now it's been opened up to the Supreme Court. Now, I'm not saying that the families who have had their family members put on these platforms and embarrassed, I'm not saying that they don't have a right to sue. They do have a right to sue. Do they have the right to compensation? You can make an argument that they do, because YouTube allowed this content on their platform and didn't take it down. We've seen plenty of examples of this, where there was content on YouTube after some person went out there and deleted people. And then we find out that that person had a YouTube channel where they were espousing a lot of hate. And YouTube didn't take it down until after the fact. If YouTube and social media platforms would have just got rid of this stuff a long time ago, maybe they wouldn't be in this situation. But maybe they did it because they knew that they had immunity under Section 230, but did not see deeper in the future that that immunity was going to eventually erode or potentially be taken away from them. As a result, we are going to be the benefactors of whatever the new world of the internet and social media is going to be, due to the lack of them jumping on this at a time when they should have jumped on this a long time ago. So people who do very risque content on these platforms, you may see yourself no longer able to operate in the way that you feel that you should be able to operate. This is very important. This section 230. Section 230 is a law that states that internet platforms can't be treated as the publisher or the speaker of the third-party content. This third-party content would be us, the content creators. See, I got to tell y'all something. Y'all not going to like what I'm about to say right now. I have two categories of how I see people on YouTube. There are people who are content creators and people that are just YouTubers. Content creators are people, in my opinion, who actually give you real content. They provide you a real show, a real program where you get a solution, you get thoughts, you learn something. They have a production behind what they're doing, and that's a content creator. A YouTuber is just somebody that comes on YouTube and does one of these numbers. I'm sorry, I'm going to hurt a few people out here, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is a content creator right here. A content creator is just somebody that comes on YouTube with an avatar covered up and just talks to you and just blah, 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 and gets up here and says a N word this, an N word that, a B word this, a B word that. People who get on YouTube and say, I think women should submit to me. And women who get on here and say, I think black men ain't no good. That's YouTubers. That's just people who got no real content, just running their damn mouth. No structure to their channel. It's all random nonsense argument. People having panel channels all damn day long with no structure, no real solution to the problems. That's not content creators. That's just YouTube channels. I'm sorry if I hurt somebody out there. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
I'm telling the damn truth. So those of you who have channels like that have no structure, goodbye. Those of you who have channels where all you do is drill and battle people, goodbye. For example, we've got this whole situation between Tahaka Bay and Tariq Nasheed, right? And they're going back and forth. Tahaka Bay's making videos about Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed's making videos about him. Now you got people pulling up on one another, filing lawsuits and all of that, right? Well, check this out. YouTube, when Section 230 goes away, YouTube won't want anything to do with that nonsense. Why? Because they would be concerned that, if Tariq Nasheed's making videos about Tahaka Bay's making videos about Tariq Nasheed, who's to say that both Tariq Nasheed or Tahaka Bay couldn't file a lawsuit against YouTube and say, hey, YouTube, why did you knowingly allow Tariq Nasheed to put those videos up about me where he's claiming that I'm a child, you know what, right? And then Tariq Nasheed can say to YouTube, I'm suing you, YouTube, because you allowed Tahaka Bay to make videos about me that were inflammatory to my character. You see where this can go? So I know everybody is getting amusement over this battle between all these guys, right? You laugh at it. It's entertainment. But only reason why it hasn't gotten too far out of control is because YouTube don't have to worry about right now a lawsuit against them for allowing those two individuals to produce content about each other that can be seen as inflammatory. Once Section 230 is taken away, YouTube may step in and say, you know what, Tahaka Bey, you know what, Tariq Nasheed, we done with both of you. You gone. You gone. We're talking about you gone like magic. You're gone. Because we as YouTube, as a corporation, we don't have time for your Negro stuff. We don't have time for your petty back and forth beef, because we're a corporation and we can't take a chance that you might decide that you want to sue us, because each of you may want to file a lawsuit for us allowing the content to still be on the channel because somebody got hurt. Let's say Tahaka Bey would have got seriously hurt when Tariq went out there and pimp slapped him. Let's say it would have been worse. Let's say, and I'm not thinking, I don't want to see any black men fight each other. I think it's ridiculous what's going on between the two of them, to be quite honest with you. The trolling, all the nonsense. But let's say somebody did seriously get hurt. Let's say somebody brought a weapon. Let's say somebody had deleted somebody in this pull-up culture that we have today. And if somebody would have ended up dead or hurt, now their family member could sue YouTube for allowing the video footage to be uploaded and to be on their platform. That's what I mean by saying when Section 230 goes away, if it does not sustain itself through the Supreme Court case, these types of situations between a Tahaka Bey or a Tariq Nasheed, who many of us find, let's be honest, we find it entertaining. We laugh, we chuckle. I'm sorry, folks. That kind of content is going to be deleted immediately by YouTube, and those channels could be marginalized by YouTube because YouTube says, what if this gets a little bit more serious and one of these guys on video harms another guy and that guy ends up deleted? We don't want the liability or the lawsuits coming our way. So goodbye, Tariq Nasheed, and goodbye to Tahaka Bey. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm just keeping it real with y'all today. This damn video is a very important video that I'm doing. Needs to be put out there in the social media streets. Now, let me see what you all are thinking in the chat room right now. Let me see what you all are thinking. What are your thoughts about this? Let's see. We got my man CMB Tech Talk saying, as an IT professional for more than 21 years of experience, I saw this coming. Excuse me, everybody. I still got that congestion from having a cold. I saw this coming down the pipeline, and our people are clueless of that can be. Yeah. It's clueless. What's going on, Just Alicia? She says this, I think all of this is crazy. Yes, it is crazy. Crazy like a fox. We got Vaughn 11 in the house. Let's see what Vaughn 11 is saying right here. She says, good evening, everybody. Good evening to you. Good to see you here. Let's see. Oh, we got my man, Brother Bryant, one of our great moderators. All the moderators out there, chat. I'm going to say peace to all of you. And he's pushing the other channel that I have, which is the Speaks Podcast. And I will be loading content on the Speaks Podcast channel. Don't worry, folks. Got so much to do, such little time. Tariq Nasheed's a okay. I'm not here to be talking about people in a demeaning way, but I'm just saying I'm using the Tahaka Bey and the Tariq Nasheed situation as an example of what YouTube could potentially do to protect themselves from any liability in case them two black men might harm themselves, where somebody gets deleted, somebody gets seriously hurt. Because it could lead to that in our pull-up culture today. And y'all know I'm telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Okay, let's see. Cartel. Hey, what's going on, Cartel? He says that's why there is a cyber security to prevent all of this stuff from happening in the first place, I would say. Yeah, I agree with you. We got my man Lions Den who's in the house saying, I'm not surprised about this. What's going on, Lions Den? We got Wiley Hustle. What's going on, sister? Saying, hey, information man. Hey, how you doing? Hustlers. What's going on, sister? What's going on? It's good to have you here. Let me see. Somebody else I wanted to put up here. She says, hey, chat. She's speaking up to everybody. We got the most beautiful Jill's Chocolate Boutique. And we got Wow Williams 454 saying anything that's not mainstream media approved, they're going to ban you. Facts.
Tell the truth.
I agree with you. We got FIFA. Long time no see, but good to see you here. Saying salute my brother from New York City. We got FIFA World and other games. What's going on? Poppy in the house saying they don't want to knuckle up. They just want to be Twitter. Yeah. Twitter gangsters and stuff like that. That's right. That's right. Let me see. We got Wow Williams 100. What's going on, Deborah Guns? And we got my man in the house. Naps is in the house saying, information man, YouTube knowingly cashes in on all of the effery now. They're swapping in to play good cops. Well, they're only doing that because they're going to get lawsuits coming down the pipeline if Section 230 does not get held up in the Supreme Court. There's 4 cases, Naps, 4 cases that they're going to be looking at. Excuse me. And if those 4 cases don't win out, we're in a lot of trouble. We're going to all be affected by this, right? What's going on, KKC? What's going on? My brother, my main man. All right. Keith Weston is in the house. What's going on with you? Salute from Pittsburgh. What's going on, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Let me see. We got Beverly Palmer's in the house. Yes. Deborah finally got him. What's going on? We got JB in the house. JB. And there was somebody else that I hope that I didn't miss. Oh, we got Street Media TV. That's my man. You know who he is. Y'all know who he is. That's my man, George Makem. George Makem is in the house, y'all. Street Media TV in the house. I love it. We got Wally versus Media. I think I'm saying that correct. We got my man. We got the Sharif. Hey, what's going on? See what Umar started with his pull-up crew? What's going on? I hear what you're saying, man. I hear what you're saying. But let me, man, there was somebody that I didn't want to miss here. We got Computer Geek in the house. I hope you all are getting something out of this. Tell the truth out there. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm doing the best I can.
Tell the truth.
My throat's all messed up. We got I need that. Okay. Look, this is the problem, though. If YouTube, let me see if I can get, we got Empress Goddess in the house. Peace to you. Let's go back up here. We got the Faith Factor in the house. Let me go peace to her. Let me see. The Faith Factor says this. Honestly, there are some channels that need to go too toxic for the... Well, Faith Factor, it's interesting that you said that because it looks like those channels that you are talking about, they're going to be gone. Oh, they're going to be gone by default. If Section 230 does not get upheld by the Supreme Court across the board in these potential 4 cases. They're already looking at the first 2 of these cases. If it does not pass, those channels that you're talking about, they're in a lot of trouble. They're going to be gone like gone with the wind. And that's just the truth. Red Squid X Files. Check out his channel. He's got a great channel saying peace and salute to Information Man. Thank you, brother. We got Blue Devil Gleam. What's going on, Gleek? Blue Devil Gleam. David Locker. Make sure y'all check out brother Devin Locker here. He has a great channel. He gets into a lot of great issues. Everybody, I want y'all to definitely check this brother out too. And I'm glad to see you come over. And I hope you were able to listen to most of my video. If not, make sure you look at the replay. This is very important about Section 230. See, today on Black YouTube, a lot of people are talking what they normally talk today. But how many people are giving you this type of content to give you this warning that's coming down legally? See, as I speak and as other people are speaking on their YouTube channels right now, some of them are not even aware of this. And they're going to get a rude awakening when you don't find out and research and understand the information.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Now, if you don't have a controversial channel where you rock the boat and your content is very family friendly, as they would say, then maybe you ain't got nothing to worry about. We got my man Trap Vision in the house. And make sure y'all check his channel out. Give him a subscribership, especially if you are a person who is a watch collector. You love watches. Check this brother out. He says TikTok was banned from some colleges due to its content, and YouTube, as being one of the senior platforms, should know better. They should know better, and they're going to know better the hard way if those 4 cases come back against YouTube. And it's not only YouTube, it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok as well. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Let's go back in here and look at Vaughn 11. She says, I joined late. I'll have to watch the replay. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, because I loaded it up with a lot of information. Let's see. Just Alicia. Hey, everybody, I'm going to say this again. If you got content creators that you enjoy watching, please get this video to them. If you are a content creator yourself, please get this in your community tab. If you got people that follow you who have YouTube channels, please send this video to them. And in general, send this video throughout your social media. I thank you a lot. What's going on, Lions Den? Me and Lions Den go way back together. Let's see. We got Michael Ross here who says, I believe in the right to freedom of speech. I believe in the right of freedom of speech, too. That was the reason why all right. Fighting this cold. That is the reason why Section 230 was created, to protect our freedom of speech. So you're absolutely right, 100%. I got to give you a clap on that, Michael Ross. Brother Sanchez is in. Oh, Brother Sanchez. Brother Sanchez, I need you to come up on the panel with me right now. I'm glad you came because I talked about you today. It is an attack on freedom of speech, Brother Sanchez. So I need you to come up for a moment and talk to me about this, because your channel and the things that you talk about on your channel, your channel would be one of those channels that if YouTube loses this legal battle, or all social platforms, they will be forced to marginalize channels like yourself and curate it and say, you can't upload this. You can't go live today, Sanchez. Come on up and join me. I'm going to drop a link in the chat room because you need to come up and talk to me about this right now, brother. For specifically you, because of the fact that I know how you get down with your channel and all of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get Brother Sanchez up here right now. We're going to get that brother up here right now. Let's get a link in the chat room. I'm popping a link in the chat room right now. Sanchez, get up here immediately, expeditiously. Come on, brother. Come on up here. Let's talk about it just for a brief moment, because I'm not going to be on too much longer, but I want to get your input today. So, Sanchez, get your butt up here immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, I need everybody to hear what this brother's going to say today. Sanchez has an incredible channel, great content. I learned a lot from him on his channel, but he's an example of a channel that is already being shadow banned and censored. But with this 230, Section 230, if it gets shut down because these old people, these old folks, and the raccoon, y'all know what I'm talking about now, and the raccoon himself may shut it all down. So I think Sanchez, Brother Sanchez, is in the back waiting. So let's get him up here immediately, right now, for your listening pleasure. Brother Sanchez, what's up, brother? All right. Okay.
What's good? What's good information, man? I think this is a very important topic. This been going on for a while, but it's getting worse. I think that a lot of things are going on at the same time, right? They know that people want the internet. Well, the bottom line is you can't protect adults' feelings. So there's going to always be ratchet stuff online. I think what they're attacking is our ability to have our own politics as a people. Because if you look at the political system, they do the same stuff. During a presidential campaign, they slander each other, talk about each other, children, and all this. They even make commercials dogging each other family. But if you were to do that on YouTube, you know, we may say that's ratchet or whatever. I'm saying, yeah, that's ratchet. There's a lot of content out there we shouldn't condone and make us look bad anyway. But at the same time, I would say I don't really care how ratchet a person content is. You will never give me an excuse where you could start taking away my freedoms and rights. So if somebody tell me, look, there's a lot of ratchet content out there, so we need to pass this law to get it out, I would say, no, don't pass that law to get it out. I just won't watch it. I just unsubscribe from all of that. So, because the alternative.
What's going on, Super Sly?
Yeah, salutes. So yeah, but I think this is a fire bill. I just think, you know, me dealing with this censorship a long time, what we're calling risque. Yeah, what we're calling risque content is really just people that's pushing the limits. They don't want you to say, hey man, what's in those chemtrails they spraying on you? Hey man, let's not talk about the chemicals that's inside of the V word that our children got to get, right? So they don't want you going, this is what we're calling risky stuff. Hey, why was you know, that dude hated all that? You get into all that, you walking a fine line.
Right.
So
let me say this. Super Sly, man, if you want to come up for a minute and express yourself, you're more than welcome. Super Sly is basically saying what freedoms and rights are being taken from you. Let me just say this. This was. Go ahead, Sanchez. And Super Sly, you're more than welcome to come up if you like.
Yeah, when I say, I'm saying that the fact that you got to jump through hoops and worried about what you can and can't say online, that's an attack on our freedom of speech, if you ask me. Now, I think we live in a country that's called a land of the free. When I was in the military, information man, I was in the infantry in the Air Force. I fought for freedom of speech, meaning I fought for a person to be able to cuss you out, a person to be able to be ratchet out of their mouth. I may not like that, but guess what? I died and I put my life on the line and risked death fighting for that. So that's what America was about, freedom of speech. Now, I don't like ratchet behavior online, but I don't like any altercations to anything that makes the land of the free the land of the free. To me, this is getting to the borderlines of unconstitutional. We're adults. If somebody using profanity or got ratchet behavior, like you're saying, people killing each other based on some a dude said online, is that the dude online fault? Or is it that dude that's letting a YouTuber influence them? Because I listen to rap music here and there, but it don't make me want to do crazy stuff. I watch movies in Hollywood that promotes a lot of violent behavior, but I don't go do nothing crazy out there. So, you know.
Well, let me just break it down like this, though, Brother Sanchez and everyone listening. What's really going on, just so people know, is that the platforms that we use, such as the Facebook and the YouTube, as you know, Brother Sanchez, have been protected and given immunity under what we call Title 230. And Title 230 basically protects them from any lawsuits when somebody gets up on these platforms and does something goofy, like upload some. This came out of 2015 with the whole ISIS situation, where you had a family, the Gonzalez's, who are suing Google because there was content with ISIS when their family member was killed that was uploaded. YouTube let it stay on the platform and never took it down. Then we had that individual. Remember that guy not too long ago, Super Sly? You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name. You had the dude, the black dude, the fat dude in New York who went on the subway and was deleting people, and come to find out he had videos on the platform where he was espousing all types of stuff. And once again, YouTube never got rid of him until after the situation took place, right? So what's happening really with the Section 230 in a nutshell is that it's just YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter and all the rest of them that are just going to try to protect. They want to protect themselves. So if the 4 lawsuits that are in the Supreme Court, that Supreme Court is looking at and analyzing right now, if they don't win all 4 cases or something changes where they lose the immunity,
I got you.
Then it will change how these social media platforms deal with us. So, for example, I was bringing that example of Tahaka Bay and Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah, I heard.
If those guys were to fight each other and someone died or got deleted or got hurt, their families could now say, we're taking out a suit against YouTube as well for allowing these videos to be uploaded.
I got you. That would be no different than them cracking down on artists and music that's saying we're going to pull up on each other and all that over the song. You can hold a label responsible. You can hold a radio station responsible for putting that out there. You can start getting into these kind of levels, but I'm saying it's walking a fine line. What Title Section 230 is protection for good Samaritan, blocking and screening of offensive material, if I'm not mistaken. And the whole thing about
Sanchez,
screening. Let me say one thing. That's just part of it.
Yes, sir.
It's the screening of offensive material, and I'm putting it in a nutshell. You said that yourself earlier, right? So my thing is this right here. They can screen all the offensive material that they want, or I can say, I'm just not choosing to watch offensive material. Yes, I know that there are people that can lift their voice for negative influence. I just brought up rappers, right? I just brought up hip hop rappers. So my thing is this right here. I don't see this as something that's going to really benefit the people. I think it's something that's really is an attack on all of us in the long run, just to do something that I think we can do on a ground level as a people.
What we're witnessing is the Chinafication of the American society. China is having a very large influence because of their economic power and because of their growth right now. They're having a very large influence over our country. That's why we let the Chinese balloon fly over our entire country before we shut it down. And nobody wants to really pay attention to what's going on. China doesn't allow their people any freedom at all. They're communists. They don't allow any freedom of expression or anything. I don't even think their culture was very tolerant of freedom of expression before they became communists. But you know,
well, I know in China they do control how long their kids can use their TikTok social media. I know that much far. But let me go ahead. What I'll do, because I don't have long. Go ahead, Super Sly. I wanted to hear, because I know you made some points about not being about freedom of speech, and I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I just hear a lot of hypocrisy. I hear a lot of scared talk from content creators. And here's my thing. I'm for it. Repeal it. Y'all, we sat here and complained about how Google or YouTube mistreats content creators since 2014. Ever since Susan Wojcicki has been in place. That's all I've ever heard is we all complain about how YouTube mistreats us. Now here's a chance for YouTube to be kneecapped, and y'all complaining about it. It's simple. Either adapt your content or you die, period, point blank. There's no one stopping you from saying anything you don't want to say. These are private entities, private corporations. If your message doesn't fit, create your own server, your own platform, and then do it that way. But guess what? Everybody comes to YouTube. No one's going to go to your website. And this is where all the action is. So I hear a lot of scared content creators. This needs to go away. And information man, to your point, how is Justice Thomas now a coon? This is the guy that helped repeal Roe v. Wade. So now all of a sudden, he's the bad guy again.
Well, this is my concern. It's not about being, for me. What I'm trying to say is, I was saying the same thing you were saying, Super Sly, that people who don't do content that fits into the scope of what YouTube is going to accept, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. And I mentioned that in my stream today, that if they don't adapt, like you said, they're going to be in trouble. My only concern is that, well, how will the platform be reshaped? In terms of what will they deem acceptable content versus unacceptable? Like, you might think that your content doesn't break their bylaws, right? You may say, hey, I'm not like those folks over here, but then YouTube may decide, nah, we not feeling you, Super Sly. We don't want to hear from you. That's all I'm saying. It's like, we don't really know if they lose these cases, what's going to be their measuring bar. And we do know, have you been noticing this, Super Sly? A lot of mainstream media is now setting up shop on YouTube to push their message on these platforms because they know that people are listening to us. And they want to knock us out of the box. Don't you think they want to knock you out of the box?
I agree. Part of it is because influencers have way too much power and control. But guess what? I'm prepared to lose my channel, and guess what? I'll come back with some vanilla shit that's going to stay on YouTube because we know what they expect. They've pretty much laid out the blueprint of what they will deem acceptable or not. That doesn't bother me. I just hear a lot of, and then part of the Gonzalez case, people forget those ISIS channels. They were running ads. They were running ads on those very channels that became radical, that radicalized those kids, that led to the Paris attack. So they were funding indirectly that an organization that radicalizes youth, which led to them taking it offline and going haywire. So people are not even cognizant of the actual Gonzalez case of what took place because Google was running ads on those channels.
Yeah, just to
say this. I went over that. I went over that today. I did go over that in this presentation today. Go ahead, Sanchez. I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Before I get up out of here, let me say something. I saw this happen with the comedy game, right? Back in the day, you had comedians like George Carlin. You had all of these comedians that were pushing the boundaries. They can really be saying revolutionary stuff and kind of pushing the boundaries in their comedy, even making gay jokes. But what you'll see over time, all the comedians had to sort of adapt, and now you will see this kind of watered down, sort of comedy where no one really want to push the line. It's kind of hard to make you laugh today. It kind of got sort of like the NFL where you can't hit as hard. You know, it's rough in the pat. They throwing flags so much that it ruined kind of the contact sport. So I just was saying I miss the good old days. The Sly making a point. You can't complain about it. You either adapt or die. It's not our platforms. That's something you can't argue with.
But see, let me say this before you leave, though, Brother Sanchez. I watch your content, and I know that you do content that YouTube could turn around and say, we don't want you waking the people up. We don't want you getting into deep surface issues, right? I mean, think about it. We live in a society where they really want us to be dumb, deaf, and blind, right? And when you are speaking to the masses in a way that's waking people up, that's not really what they want. They want you to be focused on the entertainment. I mean, think about it. Super Sly, do you agree with me or not? When that's black people get on these platforms and we cussing at each other and nigga this and nigga that, right? And we go after each other, you notice how you get more views and YouTube will monetize it and the algorithms are cranking out. But if you talk about any other groups other than black folks, they'll penalize you. So that tells you right there, they choose and pick what they're willing to tolerate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and then we turn around and complain about the image of black folk online. It's like I said, I'm prepared if me losing my channel, along with everybody else, will clean this mess up and force people to step up to the plate of being a content creator, I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I have no issue with that.
I don't think that's what's going on, though.
Go ahead.
I don't.
What do you think is going on then, Sanchez?
I think they really just trying to make content that's safe, but safe for them. So any content like Information Man saying, if you teaching people certain stuff about anything that can be considered anti-government content to me is what they talk. So I think that, we thinking they're targeting ratchet content, but like Information Man said, that's what get the views and all that, World Star, all that. They want to put ads on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, but what they really targeting is the people who speaking out. Like, even though I was disagreeing with Kanye and Kyrie, guess what? They were speaking out with more of a intellectual, who are we type knowledge versus just ratchetness and all that. So I wish they would target the ratchet stuff as much as they did the revolutionary stuff. That was one of my complaints to YouTube when I talked to them. Like, man, I'm teaching. I'm raising a rebel about science, about gravity, about stuff like that. And you got people on here twerking, pulling up and all that, getting the most views and stuff. So, yeah. Right.
Yeah. But you know what? YouTube kind of did it to themselves because they failed to take content off the platform, like the ISIS content, monetized it. Now the families are saying we want to sue you. And they've done this. We've seen this time and time again where we've seen people on this platform that went out and did something crazy. And then they got content all over the platform that YouTube did not delete until it was brought up. Right. So they actually put themselves in this bad situation. And Sly and all of you are right. We're just going to have to adapt, what have you. But I'm going to agree with Faith Factor earlier. She said there are some channels that do need to go.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look how many conservative channels were knocked off after the last election. If you talk anything about the last election, you were getting knocked off, even if you were conservative. Right. So this has been coming down the pipe for a minute. Now it's just
you can't. Man, I'm a holistic health guru, so to say, and I already lost 2 channels for telling people not to take the jab. 2 channels.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with politics, but we already know that the jab is politically motivated.
Right. I hear you. Lions Den, what's going on, man? Lions Den. You're muted. Unmute yourself.
Okay,
what's going on,
everyone?
man?
I'm doing good, ladies and gentlemen. We knew this is going to come. We knew this situation is going to come for a long, long time, because I believe a lot of people who doing content creating and making some, doing beefs online, doing beefs on YouTube, is basically showing you that YouTube, I mean, people that, especially if you have trolls that are monitoring your channels, they can basically say, well, they can shadow ban your videos, they can remove your videos like that. And obviously that this is very important what you're saying, Info, that the U.S. Supreme Court can basically saying they say, well, we cannot even upheld this ruling, and most of the channels will be no more because of this.
Well,
and so,
basically what'll happen is not so much that all the channels will be gone. I think they're looking at when you're liable. So if I get on here, if me and you get, it's just like I said already, if we and you get into a beef, and then I say I'm gonna pull up on you, and I pull out a whipping or delete you or do something crazy, and I upload it, and it's there for everyone to see, and YouTube didn't do anything about it, the family can sue YouTube because they allowed the content of what I did to you, harming you, to be on their platform, and they didn't do anything to the last minute. So it's about holding them liable. And that's what's going on with the Gonzalez suit and other suits that are coming down the pipeline, right? So, but like SUBSCRIBE was saying, we knew this was going to happen. It's about whether you adapt your content to being able to stay on these platforms. I'm just only thing I'm concerned about is the fact that we don't know exactly what the measuring stick's going to be if they lose the case. But from what people are saying in the mainstream media is that it's going to be very difficult to win 4 cases around this Section 230. So the question is, what are they going to do? Now, it's not just social media, but it's internet in general, how the internet, because the internet's gone unchecked for like over 25 years. So we've actually been benefiting from an unchecked system that has no regulations to a certain degree. And now the regulations may come down the pipeline if this whole thing, if they lose in court, because the Gonzalez family, they're looking for, monetary, pay. And these companies want to stay in business, and they'll do whatever they got to do if that means sacrificing our asses, right? And they'll do that.
Yeah, and I don't think people are cognizant. This affects Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitter, Facebook, IG, you name it. You go there, it affects them all, because what Google did, unfortunately, was act as an editor-in-chief. So if you play that position and penalize people, okay, now you got to take the responsibilities of being an editor-in-chief. So they punished us for a decade playing. You want to play editor-in-chief and still get the protections of it. Now the Supreme Court is like, no, you can't have it both ways. So let us repeal back. Now you take the added, the cost and the benefits and the repercussions of being editor-in-chief, since you've been doing your content creators like this since 2014 for the most part. So they did it to themselves, and it's a domino effect, and it's going to affect everybody. So unless you have your own site, server, anything of that nature, you're going to run the risk of being stamped out on any platform you go to at this point.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Excuse me. I'm dealing with a lot of congestion here. I'm trying to get over a cold. When it comes to like the manosphere and these other sectors of what we call Black YouTube, and we have the back and forth between the women and the men, SUBSCRIBE, do you think that those channels are going to be on a chopping block? YouTube has allowed them to flourish all these years, right?
Yeah, you got enough hate speech on both sides for them to justify knocking off those channels. Because, we've complained for years that the women have been allowed to say a lot of stuff, but the men get punished. Now, hopefully with this repeal, if it does go take place, everybody can get it. And I'd rather have everybody can get it type of situation than just to protect a few or a protected class of certain content creators. I want everybody to be able to be on pins and needles.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. What do you think, brother Lockett?
We need our own platforms, and we need our own servers. We need to take as much ownership, the highest level of ownership in this game as we possibly can. And this has been my policy as a businessman all of my life. And, up until very recently, it may be kind of recently, I always did maintain a T1 connection, a static IP address, and I always did serve my own websites. I have 70 sites right now, 70. And what I'm reading in the comments is absolutely right. We need to take ownership. We need to start developing our own platforms and our own websites. And even if we have to use the internet without using the World Wide Web, which we can do, we need to consider that. We need to start considering that, because I can't live. I, for one, I'm too old to try to even contemplate living without freedom of speech, absolute freedom of expression. And I am an absolutist when it comes to that. Here I am forming the Black American Party. You know, the powers that be do not want us to have our own voice, unabashed voice, especially when it comes to things like the jab. And, you know, I was just talking about the jab and everything else, right? So, you know, I'm not really going to even try to dance around this. And I see that the dominant influence, political influence, for better or for worse, is China. And China is already very, very restrictive upon their own, upon their own people. So any political influence of China is only going to be worse with regard to freedom of expression. So we're going to have to make a stand. And, you know, that's one of the primary, you know, tenets of the Black American Party platform, right? We need to establish independent, off-the-grid homes. We need to grow our own food. We need to become as independent of the system as possible. And then we need to interject our independent ideas back into the grid, back into the internet, back into the world, while we're not dependent upon the system to support us. You know what I mean? That's giving ourselves our own reparations, so to speak, you know. But from where we are right now, we're going to have to establish our own servers and get our own platforms. And, you know, this is something that I'm surprised Donald Trump hasn't done with all of his money.
Actually, he tried to sign an executive order to actually do what the Supreme Court's trying to do. But, you know,
Really?
Trump is, you know, orange man bad. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was the first example of the consequences of this Nazi control over the internet airwaves, you know?
Right. I would say I'm glad, Superstar, I'm glad you came through, and because we need to hear. I love to have different opinions on my platform. We need to have different opinions. We don't want to. I don't want an echo chamber of people just saying the same thing. So I'm glad that we had your input, and you've been on the YouTube streets for a long time, so you've seen it. You've seen it all.
Yes, sir.
But when it comes to your Superstar, because I know you talk about a lot of different subjects on your channel that can be deemed as controversial. But do you think that you will be hit under this if they lose the case? So I'm talking like as if it's already facts, but if they lose the case, do you think you will be impacted by? Because I think you keep a steady line there. Do you think you'll be impacted by that?
Oh no, I know if they don't knock me off, they'll demonetize me to the point where I'll have to just pretty much scrub it and start all over again. But I'm already mentally prepared for that, so I pretty much try to keep my backup channel as green as possible.
Yeah.
So then I have another idea for another channel I'm gonna do. This is gonna be just straight, just safe. So because I mean, here's the sad reality.
Right.
The sad reality is everybody's on YouTube, and everybody should have their own servers offline, but the action is here. I'm sorry, like you know, how many people have said, "Yeah, I'm leaving YouTube. I'm gonna go over here," and 6 months later they're right back here.
It doesn't work out.
Yeah,
it doesn't
Twitch
work
was killing
out.
everybody at one point. Now the Twitch streamers are coming over here. You know,
And Rumble. We have to make them popular enough, and the owners of these corporations have to be smart enough to reinvest in their infrastructure so that they are just as powerful as YouTube with regard to serving us video.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, but what happened to Parler? They neutered Parler. At one point, Parler was the next big threat to YouTube. They killed that site, revamped it. Now it's so vanilla. It's not even funny anymore. So
was that a purchase, a deal? Somebody bought it?
I believe so, but it's not even the same. It's nothing like what it was maybe 6 months ago, a year ago.
Really?
Okay. Now I'm going to bring up something. And Lions Den, you remember this? You know this, Super Sly. Come on now. We gotta call black folks out. Brother Youssef, who ran and operated Black Junction TV, interviewed him on this channel. It was a platform where you could upload your YouTube videos from YouTube as well as do regular uploading. And he wanted to get live streaming on the platform, but he said that he would need more support. And it would take time, it would take money because he wasn't taking any corporate money. He was trying to be independent. We've seen it with these black platforms. I gotta be honest with you, brother Devin Lockett. I was over there, had a channel, and I would pay the brother $10 a month to try to contribute to what he was trying to do, right? Black people did not support it. You know why? It goes back to what SUBSCRIBE just said. The YouTube has the shinier toy, the shinier wheels, the most pretty car.
Colder, just say it.
The white
That's what I
man's
was about to
ice
say
is colder.
too.
Yep, the white man's ice is colder. That's right. You know it.
That's what I was about to say. So all the black people were over here, and I had them on the channel. We had an interview. We asked people to come over to support it, and I would drop videos over there and they would get little to no views. And then he came out with a video some couple years back, and he said that eventually that he would have to get rid of it because he could no longer sustain it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why it did not last, it's an indictment on us, is because we did not support it.
Yeah.
Damn it. To be honest with y'all, I gotta tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And one day when I was trying to upload some videos to the platform, because I still was over there trying to support, all of a sudden I get the message, this site can't be reached. Because it's gone. And he said that it would be gone. He gave us the warning shot, and black folks didn't do anything. So a lot of times as a people, we will often say how we want to support our own. But in reality, when someone provides something for us, we don't support it because it's not of the same quality that YouTube gives you, right? But he said, I want to get it to that quality, but I need support. Remember, YouTube didn't always have bells and whistles too. But the reason why it has bells and whistles today, which you agree with me, SUBSCRIBE, is because people supported it and people blew it up.
People forget how long.
YouTube really doesn't have all the bells and whistles that it should have, because honestly, not only should they bring back the count on the dislike button, they should also introduce all of the other buttons that Facebook has, including laugh, cry, get angry. All of these responses should be available to all the YouTube videos. And
they're rolling stuff out little by little. They're rolling things out little by little. There are some other things they're rolling out, but let me just be honest with you. YouTube has always been a platform that's kind of bitten off of other people. You know that a lot of stuff that we have on YouTube was bitten off of Twitch. A lot of stuff come from Twitch that the YouTube is utilizing. So I'm gonna keep it real. As much as I gotta be honest, black folks ain't leaving no YouTube. Let's just keep let's keep it real. We're not leaving YouTube. We're not because the infrastructure is already solid over here. And we want to be able to hear our favorite content creators. I mean, even Asinian. Remember Asinian, SUBSCRIBE? He tried to leave YouTube and go over to Mix or whatever. And the Negro came back.
Came right back. He said, we'll see you back here in 6 months. And sure enough, he was. Like, nah.
He said, I'm retiring from YouTube, and came right on back. So let's stop the madness.
Yeah, no, if you notice, everybody that has outside accounts on different platforms, they always keep a YouTube account. They always do.
Yes.
And use it to funnel your traffic to your other channels.
Yeah. Right. I'm not saying you shouldn't support black content platforms that are out there. Still do that. But I think you should diversify yourself as many platforms as possible. Get into the podcasting platforms, and because there's some people who like to listen to radio style stuff, because I do podcasts, and there's people who listen to podcasts who won't listen to YouTube. And then I'm broadcasting into Facebook right now, and there's people that know me who only like looking at content on Facebook. They don't mess with YouTube. That's why it's good to diversify yourself and your audience. So, but everybody, Lionsden, any last words? Because I'm going to have to end this and do my daddy duties in a moment. I appreciate you all coming up. Go ahead, Lionsden. I know you've been quiet, brother.
Yeah, I was going to say that I agree with the Super Sly and Devin on this. That we remember info. Remember that time that Isaac Hayes' son has his own platform, and we supposed to support it, and now he's no longer have his platform as well. So
you talking about the what's the name of that? I think I got it. I think I'm already lined up for that. What's the name of that again?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But anyway, I got it though. I signed up for it. Go ahead, Lionsden. I'm trying to find it on my phone here.
Yeah, but you see that us content creators trying to get our own platforms, try to compete with YouTube, and unfortunately, every time that happens, they couldn't keep it because, again, like you said, that we don't support it. So I think the problem is that we don't support our own people that much. And I think that now, since we have to really try to even, like I said, black YouTubers, I agree with you with that they're not going to leave YouTube because, that's the only thing we can use to come back to the mainstream media and their basically platforms. So I think that
the only way black folks are leaving. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I cut you off. I'm sorry about that.
I'm just going to say this, and then I'm done with it. But I think that we should be supportive of each and every one of us as platforms, and not, then basically with the beefs and everything. Let's not support that. But we need to support each other with our own platforms, with our own content creation. I'm just being real.
Hey, Lionsden, I actually agree with you on a fundamental level. But let's also be honest. We like the beefs. I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching the Tahaka Bay and the Tariq beef. I've been watching it. You know what I do. We've been watching it. Come on, let's keep it real.
Leave Tariq alone before he turns you into a cartoon. Leave that man alone.
Woo, yeah.
He knows how to get paid.
He did a cartoon I watched last night where he had Tahaka, and then he had he had Brandon, and then he had Nietzsche. I think it's all crazy, but
yeah, leave that man.
And come on, black people. We like the entertainment value. We do. Let's be honest about it. We like the entertainment value. But oh man, it's crazy. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It is the nature of the platform. People are going to have issues and they're going to go after each other. And we'll see if YouTube, I think if YouTube is able, and all the other, I keep saying YouTube, but all the social media platforms, if the Section 230 is upheld, then we won't have anything to worry about to a certain degree. But if it's not upheld in a nutshell, we'll have to wait and see how YouTube, in particular, Facebook, how they respond to our content. Because they're going to roll out all type of written rules and policies that we're going to have to follow so that they can have the excuse to get rid of your ass. Because that's what it's all about. Now, this is the thing. Before I leave here, one of the concerns that they were saying, brothers, is that the Section 230 drops. It will allow people who have the bigger voices with the bigger platforms to flourish while drowning out people with smaller platforms who won't be able to build their platforms up to get to that level because they'll be marginalized. Do you see that as being a reality, or is that just scare tactics?
I see. That's the thing. What content is it though? I would have to see what type of content they go out of their way to protect to a certain extent, and what they would deem, safe in that regards. But I could see these smaller channels getting flushed down the toilet or just being suppressed, because if you're not, I don't know. I don't know.
Could if you could, for example, if you go on YouTube, you know YouTube ranks their live streams. So if you go into their live streams where they rank, they got all these conservative channels, liberal channels that have these big platforms, right? And they got millions of subscribers. They're able to talk about things that we're not allowed to talk about. This is why you know that YouTube doesn't treat everybody the same, right? And I'm saying to myself, this guy is on a show and he's talking about the vaccine and all this sort of stuff. They're saying they're anti towards it, right? And he got 1 million subscribers and he got tons of people watching. I'm like, okay, I get it. If you got 1 million subscribers and you got tons of people watching, YouTube's making a lot of money and revenue off of you, then they're going to give you a little pass. But if you're not that type of channel, then they get rid of you because they really want to promote those channels. Why not promoting you? Because you're like a fly or a tick on a dog's ass.
So basically, they're renting themselves to the New World Order, but there's a price.
Yeah. I mean, it's a price to pay for anything. Right.
If you
Right. I agree.
Money, yeah, you can actually cuss out the boss. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, but that's the world that we live in. We don't live in a fair world. I don't assume that they're going to treat everybody fair. Anybody who thinks you're going to be treated fair in this world, I can sell you a bridge in Brooklyn, right? It's like fantasy land. It's just the world that we live in. But gentlemen, thank you for coming on. I'm going to get ready to end. Brother. Oh, yeah, man. You got to come back more often. And we still got to do that interview, brother.
Hey, whenever you just let me know. I mean, we go back to the Humble days, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll contact you, man. I'll contact you. And no, keep doing your thing, man. I'll be watching you over there. You be getting in on some stuff, man. I like your content and how you go about breaking stuff down, brother. So thank you for coming up again. Once again, wait a minute. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, just YouTube, man. It's SuperSly75, and the backup is Heavily Flawed Individual. That's it. So thank you, brother.
All right, man. That's everybody. Everybody that's SuperSly75. Me and him go way back to the Rumble days, and appreciate that, brother. Brother Devin Lockett. Let everybody know where they can find you at on social media, and I want people to subscribe to your channel too, because you do great content as well.
Thank you, brother. I shared my channel links during the chat.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead and do it. Share yours too as well, Lions Den.
Yep, and just look up Devin Lockett and Biomed RX TV. And all of the 3 channels, there's Devin Lockett Reactions, and Devin Lockett Voodoo Child. And then subscribe. I'm going to be going live pretty soon, actually, talking about some Passport Pro stuff. And I'm going to go live on one of my other channels talking about the possibility of a UFO invasion, because I think we should really keep our eyes open for that.
Man, I've been listening to Coast to Coast AM Live lately, the YouTube channel, and man, I tell you, boy, it's the United States has this UAP.
That's right.
That they put out where they're studying it now, because they're saying that they're seeing the Navy and the military is admitting, a little bit that there's things flying in the air that they can't figure out what the hell it is. And I just wonder, folks. Anyway, thank you, Brother Devin. That's Brother Devin Locker. Check him out. And Lions Den, come on up here, brother. Thank you for coming over. And Lions Den, it's your turn, brother. Let everybody know where they can find you at too, my good brother. Oh, Lions Den, you just dropped off. All right. That's Lions Den Trey X. Make sure y'all check out Brother Trey X, Lions Den, aka Trey X. Check out his YouTube channel. He's on YouTube. Me and him have been rocking with each other for a number of years now. We go back to Blog Talk TV and independent radio, on internet radio, and all that good stuff. So thank you, Lions Den, for coming up. Woo, man, I'm having some congestion problems up here, but thank you for bearing with me today. Let me see what I can do right here. Everybody in the chat room, from the mods to the people coming over that's new to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Thank you again. for being here, bearing with me and a lot of my congestion problems and things of that nature. I'll be okay. I don't have the that virus. Don't worry. It's a legitimate cold. Trying to get over it. It's giving me a lot of congestion, and you know how it bothers your throat and what have you. That's why I've been drinking a lot of water. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Once again, share this video on all your social media. Let me go ahead and say narratives and dialogue. I thank you. Kendra, thank you. I want to say Brother Bowman, who super chatted me early in the show before I went live. Thank you. There was someone else that super chatted me. God, I wish I could. We got Brandon Recovery TV in the house. Thank you for being here. Computer Geek, thank you for being here, saying solid show. Thank you. Just Alicia's, thank you for being here. I'm bad with names, but I really enjoy. You've been heavily supporting me, and I appreciate you for supporting this show. And we have my sister MZ Kim, Bling Bar, and more. She's coming in the house. We got my brother, my main man. Thanks, brother. I appreciate all you do. We got brother Narratives and Dialogue. The Faith Factor. The Faith Factor. I want to thank you again for your support, for coming over and blessing me with your presence on this channel, and everybody blessing me with your presence on this channel. I appreciate you, sister. Thank you. Anybody that gave me any super chats, if you gave me any cash apps, you know I'm going to check my cash app. Let me thank you for the cash apps. And I think I got a cash app from Jade. Thank you, Jade. $3 super cash app. Thank you. Let me go back in here before I end the program and shout some other people out before I end it. I usually like to acknowledge people because, you know, you all are taking up your time to come over here. Oh, we got my man. No Cap is in the house, brother Freezy. Oh, man. What's up, brother? Hey, make sure y'all subscribe to that brother's channel. I was looking at one of your videos the other day, man. You got brilliant. You're doing. I love your brilliant graphics. Your presentation is fantastic. Looks like you're using Ecamm or something. I love it, brother. Yes. Brother Keith, who can follow me for a long time now. Brother Keith says, great session tonight. Big Brother Information Man Show. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, brother. We got H&H is in the house. Thank you. Emmanuel Briggs says, great show. Thank you, Emmanuel. Cartels in the house saying solid show information. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But make sure that you check out No Cap. Check out that brother. You see him on the screen now. Check him out. Great channel, great perspective. I spent a lot of time hanging out with him over on Black Man Unfiltered's channel, right? Having great dialogue and conversation over there. So peace to him. Peace to brother Sir Hale Speaks Network as well. Shout out to you again, Brandon Recovery TV. Thank you for coming over. Christopher David, thank you. We got Jill's Chocolate Boutique looking lovely on your avatar. I like that. And let me see who else I might have missed. We got Kiji G. What's going on, sister? Thank you. Nice Nisi saying, well, just have to keep promoting your film on your community tab. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Thank you. Hey, thank you for doing what you're doing and promoting people. Oh, we got X Freeman in the house. Thank you for being here. saying, is the Black American Party an actual political party? I think that's where Devin Lockett is trying to get it to. He's trying to build something small and build it up to that level. Next time he comes on the channel, we're going to go, maybe what I'll do is I'll have him for an interview so that we can go deeper into his organization. Now we got my man, Naughty American. What's going on? What's going on? I missed those. Yeah, the Sunday Rumbles were a classic. I miss them as well. And now we got my man, Mike B. Show enough. And then we got to go to Carlos T. Thank you. Don't forget Purple Bayous, if I'm not mistaken. And there was somebody else I need to acknowledge. Deborah Guns. Thank you, my sister. And Von Bryant, man, Brother Brian has been a great moderator, as well as all the moderators here. Thank you. Yes. So everybody, with that said, I'm going to get on out of here. You all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tell someone that you love them. Recognize that you have family that you care about. Recognize that we all are on these platforms to learn from each other, to have a good time, to enjoy, and be entertained, to entertain, and to enlighten and educate one another. And just as Super Sly said, if this does happen, we just have to adapt our content. Okay. But we don't know exactly what will happen if they lose this case. I don't want to see the case be lost. And I'm going to be honest. Yes, I'm going to be honest. Donald Trump appealed this because of his own personal conviction and being upset because Twitter removed him from their platform. I'm going to say this. Censorship is not a great thing at all. We should not be censored. It's a dangerous thing because if you can censor one person, you can censor us all. So therefore, even though people post things on social media that we may not agree with, that we may not like them, their views could be racist, their views could be biased towards us. At the same time, we don't want censorship because if they can be censored, what's to stop them from censoring you, me, your family, your loved ones, and keeping you from expressing your thoughts from your perspective, from your cultural, spiritual, and social perspective? We don't want that to really happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get ready to get on out of here. You all take care. Peace.
Tell the truth.
Peace.
Tell the truth.
You love them. I'll be back with more presentation, everybody. Peace.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power. the truth.
Tell the truth.
Information is power. Information is power.
Tell the truth. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
tell the truth.
Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.